Hey guys, we're going to be looking at properties of quadratic functions in standard form, and as promised, here's some vocabulary for you guys to routinely peruse. Okay, investigate what these words mean, because it's going to lend itself, it's going to facilitate your learning. So again, the whole goal here is to keep these videos 5 to 10 minutes. So you can stop the video there. Okay, look them up in the glossary, in that digital copy of the textbook that is on Schoology. Okay, I've also got some notes here that I won't go hopefully too in depth about. I'll just simply show you how to use them, but you can pause the videos and write these things down. Okay, now this one it talks about the axis of symmetry of a quadratic function. So here you have, here's the axis of symmetry, right? It cuts it right down the middle, and whenever it's written in this form, okay, the axis of symmetry is simply x equals h, right? This isn't the best notation, but this is what the book does. This x is not this x. Okay, this is basically telling you that the axis of symmetry is x equals whatever number is in this spot right there. Okay, so keep that in mind. For now, as long as you have these notes in your notebook, you'll be good. Right? This next one, when it comes to parabolas, okay, there's a minimum and maximum value. Now, I get that this might look intimidating, but let me really simplify this. Okay, you do want this in your notes, but look at this. If you look at this parabola, right, you can observe that at some point it goes down and then kind of kicks up. These arrows say it goes up forever, so you don't know how high it goes, but you definitely know how low it goes, so that makes it a minimum. Okay, because it's opening upward. Now this one's opening downward, so the arrows say, hey, I'm going to go down forever. You don't know what the minimum is because it keeps on going lower and lower, but you do know that this is the highest point, this is the maximum point, and that's all this table's saying. Okay? This one here, properties of a parabola. And again, if I go too fast, simply pause the video and jot this down. This one here, okay, notice this notation versus the other. Let me go back to that other one. This one right here. Okay, this form lends itself in this way. This other form, okay, lends itself for these other bits of information or characteristics. So this is going to be a lot more used. Okay. It's going to be more frequent on exams, so really write this one down. And f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So you must know a, b, and c. It's telling you they're real numbers. Why do you need to know a, b, and c? Because if you notice, you end up using them for different purposes. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example, and I'll show you how this works. Now, really quickly. Remember we looked at a slide a bit ago about opening upward. If A is positive, okay, this guy up front, if it's negative, it'll open downward. The axis of symmetry, okay, notice that this is different from that first form. So here's the formula to calculate that. The vertex, here's the formula. Looks intimidating, we'll do it together. And then the y-intercept is simply C. So let's take a look at this first one. Identify the axis of symmetry for the graph. Alright, axis of symmetry. So look at this form, right? This one looks like, I just promised most of them will look like this. So I need it to be ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay? So it must be ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, if this is supposed to look just like this, then I know that a is 4. I'm going to jot this down. I can tell that in front of the x is b, which is right a minus 8, and I can tell that the plus this number is the c, so c is 3. Alright. Now they do want the axis of symmetry. Okay. So we'll go ahead and use that symbol. It's just a fancy A with an S, axis of symmetry. And instead of cracking your head, just look over here and it gives you a formula, right? X equals negative b over 2a. Okay? So it's negative b over 2a. Put some colons there. And all you do is substitute. Right? So negative b over 2, you need to find a, which is right there. Negative times a negative is positive, 8 over 8, and we're left with 1. Okay? So there is our axis of symmetry, done and done. Alright, let's look at this next example. Now I know I'm not reading it in detail again to reduce the time or the length of the video. Now we're looking at another one that's very similar. So what I'm going to do here is establish the good habit of immediately identifying A, B, and C, since that's the name of this game. Alright, so I got A equals -4, B equals -8, and I got C equal to 10. Determine whether a graph opens upward, find the axis, the vertex, and the y-intercept. Graph the function. Alright, so if you look at the bit of notes that you're being asked to have in your notebook, okay, it works exactly in that order. So opens upward. Right? Let's see here. Now, excuse me. Let me start off with the problem. So by looking at it, right, how do I know if it opens up or down? Let's go to our notes. Right? First you got to look at A apparently, and if A is positive, it's up. A is negative, it's down. Okay, so first thing, right, it opens down. Why? Because we have A equal to, or better yet, let's just say A is what? Less than 0. Make sure that's consistent with the notes. There it is. Right. And basically what that means is A is negative. Alright? 2. What's the next thing it's asking? Find the axis of symmetry. Alright? Axis of symmetry. From the last problem we know it's x equals -b over 2a. So we're going to substitute -a for b. This is coming from there. We're going to substitute -4 for a. And it turns out that we have the same answer as the last problem. Whoops. Not exactly. We have -1. Okay. This 4 was positive, that's why it's different. Alright, 3. Find the vertex. We'll put a big V. Okay, what are they saying about getting the vertex? It says, okay, notice that this -b over 2a is repeated here, and this tells you to take whatever number you got here and plug it into f, the function. Alright, so let's go ahead and jot that down. So the vertex. Alright. Let me just see. I'm trying to be consistent. The vertex. I guess here I can use a equal sign, or I guess I'll leave it as colons. It's -b over 2a, comma, f of -b over 2a. Okay, that's coming straight from your notes. Alright, now what I'm going to do here is simply substitute. So, I don't have to do this anymore. It was already done here. So I've got -1. And f is the function. Okay. So basically the function, okay, this one right here, or the one we're given, but you have to plug in -1. Where did the -1 come from? Right there. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and write out f of x here. Or excuse me, let me put in this part, right? Because this is the only thing we have to calculate. Alright. So I can memorize it. Okay. Right, it was -4x squared minus 8x plus 10. Gotta verify. -4, -8, 10. Whoops. And see, what I'm doing here is I'm leaving out the x and putting in the -1 because that's what is required here. So now I get to do the simple math. -4 times 1 plus 8 plus 10. This is 18. This is -4. And I have 14. So, once again, the vertex is -1 and 14. Alright, let's move on to the next one. It says that was the vertex, so now the y-intercept. What number are we on? 4. Okay, the y-intercept, you put a y-intercept. Okay, what about it? What do they ask us to say? They say, hey, the y-intercept is simply c. So then that's all we'll write, is that the y-intercept is c. C equals 10. So we'll put 10, right? Maybe we'll just skip the C part and just put it's 10. Okay. Alright, so I think that's good enough. That'll wrap it up. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.